Hello students, welcome to your science class. We are learning chapter 13 Fun with Magnets of your NCERT science textbook. In today's class is the last part of this chapter. In this chapter, we have learned many activities, facts, properties and applications of magnet. Let us begin today's class and see what more we have to learn about magnets in this chapter. In the previous class, we have learned an activity of cars when tied with magnets, and their movement is, we have seen their movement when placed in different positions, and that movement of these cars is due to the magnetic effect. We have understood those observations, and we can say that like poles of a magnet repel each other and unlike poles of a magnet attract each other. The same activity can be done by suspending two bar magnets, bringing one by one the poles with different positions facing each other, bringing them together closer one by one with their poles with different positions facing each other. Here you can see the same poles, north pole and north pole of the magnet repel each other. Same is the case with the two south poles facing each other. But when a north pole and south pole face each other, they attract. What did you learn from these activities? We conclude that similar poles repel each other and opposite poles attract each other. You can see our observation described here. Like poles or same poles show repulsion. Unlike poles or different poles of a magnet show attraction towards each other. And in this observation, you can see what happens when the magnets are placed in different position with the poles they are paired with. They can be placed side by side or one above the other. You can see the position of the poles and their reaction when they are placed in such a way. In the first column, we just learned through an activity that what will happen when they face each other when they are placed one above the other or the poles facing each other directly. But in the second column, you can see what happens when they are placed side by side. Magnets, when paired with like poles, repel each other, and when paired with unlike poles, attract each other even when they are placed closer side by side. You may get a doubt that what will happen if a magnet is brought near a compass. The needle of a compass itself is a magnet, and thus the north pole of the magnet always points north, except when it is near a magnet. Any magnet placed close enough to a compass will be able to alter the direction of the compass. In fact, as you move the magnet around the compass, its needle will no longer point at the north magnetic pole, but it will follow your magnet. When you take the compass away from the magnet, it again points north. So, we can conclude that the north end of a compass is attracted to the south end of a magnet. So now you know a magnet when placed near a compass, it influences the magnetic needle present inside the compass. Magnets attract other iron objects. Yes, it is good and advantageous. But having fun with magnets also has limitations. Now we are going to learn about a few cautions while handling magnets, or let us learn few precautions about magnets. Magnets are strong iron objects which have the property to attract other metal or iron substances, but they will lose their magnetic property when they are mishandled. Like, magnets should not be heated. Heating leads to demagnetization of a magnet. Second, magnets should not be hammered or be beaten so hard as they will lose their magnetic property in such cases. And the third one is magnets do not work properly when they are dropped from heights, huge heights. So you should not mishandle with magnets however you like. They should be saved properly. There is a method or procedure to store these magnets as they become so weak when they are not stored properly. The procedure to keep the bar magnets safe is take a pair of bar magnets and keep them in pairs with their unlike poles facing the same side. Here you can see in the image. Both these bar magnets need to be separated by a piece of wood, and the two soft iron pieces should be placed across their ends as you see here in the image. So this is the way you keep the bar magnets safe. So this is the procedure to keep the bar magnets safe. What about a horseshoe magnet? How do we store it safely? For a horseshoe magnet, keep a small piece of iron across the poles and safely store it properly. As the magnetic effect is influenced on electrical effect, magnets should be kept away from electronic devices like cassettes, mobiles, TV, music systems, CDs, computer, etc., where to not disturb their activity due to an external magnetic effect altering their activity. So that was about the fun with magnets. Let us once again have a quick view of these key concepts we have learned in this chapter. First, introduction. In introduction, we learned various uses and purposes of magnets, and we have learned an interesting story behind the discovery of magnets. We learned how to differentiate magnetic materials from non-magnetic materials according to their property with respect to a magnet. We learned that the magnet has North Pole and South Pole. We learned about a compass and how magnets play a key role in finding directions while traveling. And we have learned an activity on how to make our own magnet. And just now we discussed about attraction and repulsion of magnets and few precautions to be followed while handling magnets. So this is about the fun with magnets chapter in your textbook. So here we complete this chapter, students. Thank you.